I was born in India, and my dad decided he wanted to move to America to start his family. So while my mom was pregnant with me, he was studying for a specific job that he was going to take in America so he can get his work visa. And eventually we all moved out here. And so living out here wasn't anything crazy. My little sister was born 5 years after, so she was an American citizen. My parents and I are Indian citizens. And, they never pressured us to be super religious. We're Sikh by religion, but they never forced us to go to the Gurdwara, which is our temple. They never forced us to go to the Sunday school to learn Punjabi, which is our main language. I do know Hindi pretty well because they would speak it really often, but there was never pressure to read and write and learn it. And it was awesome. We're not allowed to cut our hair. We're not allowed to eat meat. We're not allowed to drink. My parents have been always super cool with all of it. My dad doesn't believe in tangible things holding value over you that much just to believe in a higher power. He believes if you want to connect with a higher power, you should be more spiritual. So we started with very little. My dad moved here without his parents approving, so he came here with very little money, got fired from his first job. We were homeless for a little while. We've jumped from someone's couch to another couch when we first got out here. Then my sister was born and we got into an apartment. So all our life it's been really humble beginnings. My parents have always been really grounded people. So religion and I guess the whole big part about being Indian, which is celebrating all the holidays and really, I guess the stereotypical stuff wasn't a huge thing besides eating Indian food every day, which was awesome. So then unfortunately, when I was in the 6th grade, my dad's dad got terminally ill. He got lung cancer. And so when we found out, my dad's like, okay, I think it's best if we go back and take care of him for a year since, we really don't know when he'll pass away. And so I didn't know that was going to be a year-long thing. I actually assumed we'd be visiting for the summer like we did every other summer. So my mom, sister, and I moved to India. My dad helped us move back to his old house with my mom's in-laws, so my dad's parents. It was interesting because I was only 6th grade and I was 10 and I had no idea the complexities of our families and the way that in-laws sometimes work with, married couples. And it was even more awkward looking back now how my mother had to take care of them and my dad's side of the family was always weirdly judgy and unaccepting of her, which made me very protective since day one. So we did 6th grade there. It was awful, but I learned very, very quickly that me crying about living in India wasn't going to do anything. Me burdening them with how much I missed my friends, how much I didn't really feel like I belonged, wasn't going to do anything. So I learned to kind of hide being emotional. So at an early age, I learned to take care of my mom, who would work all night because she still worked her American job. And since the time difference, she has to work all night. And then during the day, we had help. We had nannies and stuff. So they would take care of my sister and I, send us off to school. We went to an international school. So that was cool. And it was really, really expensive. And so we thought, okay, there'd be a little bit more assimilation than versus going to a regular public school. We were in New Delhi, by the way. As much as I was Indian by religion, citizenship, blood, every aspect you could think of besides just growing up there, I completely felt like it was a camouflage. And as soon as I opened my mouth, my accent came out, even when I spoke Hindi. And it's everyone just assumed you were the snobbiest people ever. And it was such a bummer that we were there for 10 months. And out of those 10 months, 8 of them, my sister and I had no friends. Literally no friends besides the people that lived in our neighborhood that had kind of known us when we'd come and visit every summer. So school-wise, we had no school friends. We would eat lunch alone. It just really annoyed me overall that having an American accent somehow made us completely different. We weren't another person with another personality. Everyone there has their own unique personalities. So it bummed me out a lot. We got through it. Weirdly, month 8 or something, things started changing. I remember when I'm leaving, before month 10, I was leaving and the friends that I'd made, I had a little group of 5 or 6 girls that were in my friend group. They had actually made me a little going away yearbook thing, scrapbook thing, and it was really, really cute. And they'd written really long letters about how much they cherished my friendship. And how much they wish I could stay longer and how they wish they'd known me earlier. And I was like, I've been in your class all year. It's hard for me to like empathize, but I appreciate the gesture. That was kind of the point where I learned to be very analytical and be like very cautious with the risks that I take. Coming back to America, I had a little bit of an Indian accent, but I was coming out of that pretty quickly. And that 1 year kind of engraved in me sort of how not Indian I am. Like, it freaked me out because being there, when you're immersed in that culture and you can't keep up and you don't know so many things, people judge you hardcore. Even when we go to the Gurdwara here, sometimes on like holidays, we will go on like specific religious holidays, and we won't be in the full like suit or anything, like the Indian garments. Like my mom would be like, wear jeans and just be like fully clothed and like tie your hair up and like put the scarf on and you're good. And so we would do that, and that's because our parents like never cared. And so we'd walk in, everyone would just eyes on us because we're the only ones who haven't dressed up so much. And so I remember asking my dad one time, I was like, how are you not noticing all the eyes on us? Like, how are you not like a little bit embarrassed by it? Like, I feel like I'm judged all the time. I like don't even love going there anymore because of that. And my dad's like, you just have to learn to be confident in the choices you make. Like, we respect the religion. That doesn't mean it like dictates our everyday life. And he's like, that doesn't mean I judge another person. His best friend in college, when he went to college in India, like he was like, we're talking waking up at 5 a.m. to pray, and he was a Sikh as well, never cut his hair, wears a turban. His daughter actually goes to UCSD with me now. We grew up together. It's crazy. So, you know, they've never been judgmental people. They're such a close family to ours. So it just goes to show how little they judged us and how little we judge them for their lifestyles. Because bottom line is, my dad and he are very good people. So I think finding security in my parents, finding security in actually coming to college really helped. There's so many Indian people that are not super Indian in like the sense that I've described, and that was super comforting because I was really stuck in like, I would see like the Indian orgs and stuff, and I was like, oh my God, do I have the courage to like go and do this? Because I remember my mom would be bummed out. She's like, I wish you did more stuff. Do you think you'll join an Indian org when you go to college and stuff? And I was like, no, Mom, I'm probably gonna join a sorority. And she was just like, oh, okay. And she was like kind of bummed, and I was like, I'm gonna try, I'll give it my best shot. And I never really went, but I told her I did. Because I think that year kind of scarred me. Mm-hmm. But I met so many cool people like outside of the org, and even the people that are in the org, maybe I don't go to their events, but I've met such awesome Indian like people that are, I guess it's just, you know, with our generation, it's become less and less of a thing to be judgy about it. Like, we're all, at the end of the day, most of us grew up in America. We're pretty Americanized to some degree that we can all get along. And we can all kind of like talk about our struggles being Indian too. Sometimes like that might seep into our life. So I found like comfort in that. And I have like a lot of Indian friends here, and I've never thought twice about this like identity crisis that I had. But I think my little sister is going through it now, and she's now a sophomore in high school. So I feel like the best way to overcome it was to slowly find comfort in the fact that I'm not alone doing this. And coming to college was kind of like the most tangible way to actually see that come to fruition. Like, I really am not alone in this. I think obviously going to my temple is like the opposite extreme, where it's like you see it and you're like, oh my God, I am very different than these people. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's not fair to judge people off of an accent or the way they dress. So you just have to remember that you are still just another person trying to make it through life, trying to make it through college. And I don't really think about it every day anymore. It was like that 1 year that really showed me that being Indian was a big part of me, but it was like my choice to like allow myself to be as Indian as I wanted to be and not feel guilty about it. Because my parents didn't feel guilty about the way they raised us, so I shouldn't either, about my own upbringing. that's the other thing. After India, after that 6th grade, I tried not to be bitter. That was the one, like, you have two paths when you deal with like real big trauma. It's like you can either get really mad about the fact that it happened to you and really dwell on it and let it consume you, or you can move forward and realize that there are people who are probably dealing with the same stuff that you are. And that, again, doesn't undermine what you went through. It just should help lift you up more. Like, if all these other people around me are surviving, people I walk by every day whose stories I don't know about, I can do it too. So I think just remembering that, like, there's no point in being bitter. It'll only stop you in your tracks from moving forward. It'll consume you. Do cooler things and move on, and just use that to your advantage, and be able to find a platform like this to be able to tell your story and feel good about it, you know? Like, I feel like the more I tell it, the more normalized it feels, and the more like empowered I feel about it. Like, I don't feel guilty anymore.